Hey, what's up, everybody? Batcraft. That's right, it's Bo here, and I am in the amazing new theater. I mean, like, honestly, I know I just kind of like just did nonstop talking about this last week, but is this not amazing? Like, are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Because I got to tell you, this is incredible. I don't think it gets any better than this, which is rough because we got more season to go, and I feel like I think I peaked here. This is really good. I mean, maybe it's just me who likes it this much, but I think it's fantastic. And so, yeah. But the reality is we do have other projects to work on, and specifically today, we are going to work on some tiny projects. Last week we talked about big projects, we worked on big things. Today we're going to be working on some very, very tiny things, starting with this very, very big building. So I have made reference to this on several occasions as being kind of a larger project that was going to be on the work in that I was going to be working on in the background. And so I have. As you can see, it is pretty much the external portion of it is finished with the exception of glass on the interior, specifically the back side has not received glass, but the front side has. Although it makes kind of little difference, honestly, for what our main purposes are for this episode. Because this is based off of just some... Ooh, ow, let's not do that. Because this is based off of, honestly, just some random corporate office that is found in Athens. Because at the very top of it was a tiny house that me and my wife stayed at while we were in Athens. And so that is what we're going to be working on today. We are going to be working on the tiny house up there. The problem is the tiny house itself is tiny and small. And so we need to do a couple of other tiny projects as well, starting with this very large airport. See, there's kind of a thing going on here. You see it? You see the things? Anyway. Will's done with this airport and has offered up for some of us to create shops and kind of little kiosks inside for those that come through and, come through the airport and everything. Not to mention, hopefully, him as well. And so I was thinking that the best thing that we can do is create a little food kiosk. And I think this is going to work out really well because I actually have at the moment an abundance of food. Now, you may recall up at the library, this is the grocery. Now, you may recall up at the grocery that we did our best to try to fix our carrot system, and we tried to convert it to a wheat system and ended up creating a bread system. And I've tried to convert it back to a carrot system, but as you can see now, it's just it's a mess. I'm not getting nearly the kind of carrot production I wanted. We're getting all this bread. And so there's a silver lining here, which is that we are going to take this bread and sell it at the airport. Because for one thing, I have just no need of it. But beyond that, we're also going to be selling chicken. So I was thinking we're doing a little chicken and waffle cart, essentially, is what we're doing here. We're going to pretend like the bread is waffle. We're going to do the chicken. We're going to pretend like the chicken is fried. It's going to be great. I feel like there needs to be some kind of like humorous name as it relates to all this too, like especially with, like chickens they're being birds, but they can't fly and it's at an airport. Might have to think about this. By the way, I haven't actually gone through his plane yet. So you go through here. Oh, wow. Look at this. He's got seating and everything. Kind of the back area. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, look at this. He's got a whole map of our two cities here. Yeah. Yeah, look, he's got his Hall of Justice back here. I mean, the airport just looks incredible on the map. Awesome. Okay. All right. So where are we going to set this up? I want to set it up in a place that's convenient for Will, but also I guess this is his nether portal, right? So if this is his new nether portal, this might be kind of a coming and going type situation. Maybe right here makes the most sense. Or do I want to do it over here? Because this is after you pass through security, you come through over here. And this is like your first in. You've got, this is prime real estate right here, actually. I think this is the spot. Let's see if we can put it right here. Yeah, this should be good. Now, I had kind of this concept for a cart, and I was thinking about, honestly, originally I was thinking about this for kind of some horse and buggies, which I might end up using later on in New Yorktown. I've always liked the idea of having kind of horse and carriages throughout the city. And unfortunately, I've kind of lost some of my horses. I've had a couple of different horses that, some of which you've seen and some of which you haven't. And the reason is because, unfortunately, they all met an untimely demise. Let's see. And I kind of wanted like a roof. I was going to do like a little, this might be too small to do what I wanted to. This kind of gets back to what Will was saying about the tiny bat cave, is that like you have these ideas. I have these ideas for like these vehicles, but you don't really consider the height situation. So you really have to kind of squash them down. I think this could work though. All right, there we go. It looks a little on the squash side, but I think that actually works out okay. And then we just need to fill it up. Ah, this is cool. We'll do it like a chicken sandwich type situation. The only problem is I don't have enough bread. I need more bread to be able to do that. All right, 3 stacks for 1 diamond. That's a fairly excellent price, honestly. So I'm not. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. We don't just have like a ton of stock just yet, but we'll be stocking up as we go along, and I think that'll be good. I think that'll be just fine. There you go. Eat a bird, chicken, and waffle. Until I can come up with something better, that'll be what it is. And it's right here by the door. I think that'll be good. And you know what? If we need to move it, that is not a problem. That is not a problem. I figured I'll go ahead and I'll let him tell me if he doesn't like this here, if he wants another location and whatever he wants to charge us, he'll just have to let us know. But I feel like with those kind of deals, I mean, come on, that's a good price for some food. That's a good price for some food, you know? So we'll see. We'll see what he ends up saying. All right, so that gets our first tiny project done. Now, for the next tiny project, as I mentioned, we've got this giant building, and we need to put a tiny house on it. But I'm intimidated by that, so we're not going to do that. The next thing we're going to do is in Gotham. That's right. See, it's going to happen, though. I know. I've been talking about it forever. We're gonna do it. We're definitely going to do it. But we're gonna do something in Gotham first. Ow! Oh, really? The Valanco Blimp. Okay, as you can see, Wayne Manor is popping up all over the place. Wow. Okay. And as we know from last week, there's some redstoning that is about to be going on or has already started going on, having to do with the entrance into the Batcave. Now, I'm not going to be touching that at all, but I am going to be working on the Billiards Room. We signed up to do the interior for the Billiards Room. Of course, we already did the Great Hall and then the kitchen on the other side, but this is where we are going to be spending some time today. Now, in keeping with the tiny project feel, it is a very small area that we will be working on, and I think it's so small that I might have to make a couple of alterations, honestly, to this exterior. I kind of need to push the wall back by like maybe 1 block for the windows and make it more of like a bay window situation. I hope that's going to be okay. And actually, let me check my notes really quick. Okay, yeah. So originally in my personal design for this room, I had kind of on the back wall, I was going to put a TV. But I think it might actually look better with windows, like especially with kind of a bay window situation. So I'm hoping that's the case. The goal that we're going with here is we want something kind of, it's a billiard room. It's kind of like a smoking lounge, kind of like a laid back, you have your pool table, maybe some darts, that sort of thing, some music, some records. I mean, this is a man cave. This isn't a bat cave. That's going to be something different. But this is kind of like a little bit of like a man cave type feel, but as swanky as we can get within the small framework that we have to work with. So let's see what we can do. Let's jump into a probably fairly quick time lapse. I don't know. We'll see how difficult it is to make. Let's go. All right, and as you can see, it's good. It's decent. I think this worked out pretty well. I mean, it definitely answered the call of being a billiards room, right? Like, so we've got a billiards table, we've got a couch. It's a little close, but I mentioned before that I was thinking about pushing out those windows a little bit, and then I decided maybe we didn't actually need to. We might, but I think we're fine. I think we actually don't need to. I think it actually worked out okay. So we got some shelves, we got kind of some speakers over here. We've got, a record player, and then we've also got, some discs up on the wall. We've got some darts, and of course, the billiards table with kind of the cool like drop down lighting like you would find. Like I said, we were trying to go for that loungy type of feel, and I think it worked out pretty well. Here's the thing. We also want to do one other thing, which is I thought it'd be cool if we had a kind of, okay, so I'm not a sports guy, but how like some people in these rooms, they will have like helmets for their favorite professional teams. So I was thinking, what if in, Mr. Wayne's billiards room here, what if he had a helmet, probably autographed helmet, by the Gotham Knights, which I believe is the name of their sports team. Now, I was trying to debate what color their helmet would be, and I kind of ultimately landed on black. I think black makes sense. I was thinking about yellow, but the yellow didn't quite look right. Actually, now that I see it. Huh. Okay, well, that actually doesn't look too bad in context now that I see it. And it's actually going to be on a black. Huh. All right, well, we're going to go with yellow. Yes. All right. So we're going to go with yellow. Kind of wish I had brought something other than yellow glass, but we'll see how it works. Now, if you're not familiar with this trick, it is a redstone thing that works out pretty well. And yes, the idea here is that you can push down blocks on top of an armor stand. So what we want to do first is kind of put this one right here. And actually, now that I think about it, we're going to put that right there, and we are going to want to put our piston right here that pushes that down. Now you're thinking like, well, that doesn't look right. That's like a weird face on a body. No. We're gonna keep the momentum going. That's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna take this away. Oh, we're gonna take this away. Oh, we're gonna take it away. There we go. And now we're going to grab that glass. Put the glass. Nope, that's wrong. Put the glass right here, and then do it one more time with the piston, and voila. We've got ourselves a glass display case for the helmet, and it works out great. Grab that, and then, of course, we want to put a little top to it up there, and da-da! There we go. So I think that works out pretty well, although, admittedly, now I kind of wish I hadn't gone with yellow. I mean, we could always change it. We'll keep it yellow for the moment just because, that's here. But I think this is looking pretty good. I did some cool things with the floor. I used a bunch of the, the beehive things, whatever they're called. Got those all in there with some oak blocks. I thought it would give kind of a nice, cool texture to the floor, something a little bit different from everywhere else. And also, that way it would kind of stand out compared to the darker rug as well as the kind of, darker browns and blacks on the walls. I know I've been using the mangrove a lot, and it's kind of hard not to just because it looks so cool. In fact, I've been messing around with these doors and the holes, and there's a lot of actually optical illusions you can do with them, and I'm hoping to do more with that in the future. But for right now, I think this looks great. Now, I did take a few liberties here that I hope I'm not going to get in trouble for, which is that I actually built the walls on this section, which before I was kind of doing it not on that section because I didn't want to mess up the room with, mess up and take up room from somebody else. But here I think it works out okay because on this side is just a staircase. And so my guess is that this might be covered up from the stairs that are being built. And if not, we can always make like a trapdoor wall on something like this if we have to, but I think we'll probably be okay. So that should be fine. And then on this side, this is the foyer, if I'm not mistaken. Right. So with the foyer, this can be a little leaner, but more importantly than that, this wall right here, since this is the ballroom, I'm thinking that the added space is going to be needed to actually use the walls in here than it will be for the foyer. But did I do that right? Oh no, did I do that? I did it wrong, didn't I? I think, no, I didn't. So yeah. So if this is actually the interior wall for the foyer, maybe, then we'd need to build up walls for, the interior wall for the ballroom. Then this would need to be the interior walls for the foyer, and we should be fine. So I think that works. Now, one of the things that I probably should be doing is building this up taller, but just overall, I'm waiting for the exterior to be done before carrying all my builds up all the way. We talked about that last week with the dining room, especially as this thing has been kind of built out right over here. Especially right there. But I think we just let's let this thing be built out, and then we'll kind of fill in the gaps from that standpoint. But in terms of design work, I think we are done with this tiny room, continuing our tiny project theme for this episode. But with this one done, that means the time has in fact finally come. Oh, by the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that the manor is looking much, much better. I mean, the progress that is being made right here is awesome. Okay, yeah, I know. We're gonna do the other thing, but let's just like admire this real quick because this looks awesome. This looks so cool. You got kind of the wraparound patio right here. You've got kind of the entryway. It's interesting. We made the choice to build it up here where all this snow is, and it's made for kind of a unique situation. But regardless, we're rocking with it. We're rocking with it. Everything about this seed has just been. I blame myself. I'm just going to say it right now. I blame myself and continue to ever since the beginning of the season. But regardless, it's been an interesting kind of mixture of snow and lushness, and I think it works out just fine because this is what we got. This whole entryway, though, reminds me so much of the Bellagio in Las Vegas. I don't know why, but it does. Like it just kind of gives me Bellagio vibes, and I dig it. I think it's really cool. This tower is looking really cool. Love all the windows, and especially when you kind of see everything from afar, it just looks so good. It looks like a thing. I think that's the longest time. It was more of like an idea, and now it's like a thing. it's a really good. That's a good thing. All right, finally, yes, this building right here. Okay, so as the sun sets on us, up on your screen is kind of some video footage from a brief video I took at the top of what this tiny house was on top of this corporate building in Athens. And as you can see, it had a pretty epic view. But there's not really much to go off of, right? Like, I was able to find the building on Google Maps, and then I got a picture of it, and then I lost it. And so what I did was I used the image I found on Google Maps and did a design, but this was like a year ago. And so I've had this kind of design just kind of chilling in my test world for the longest time. And it wasn't until obviously now that it finally basically got built and done. So that's great, but I don't have the reference piece. I've lost everything. I've lost the reference piece. I can't find the building anymore on Google Maps. It's just a mess. But just trust me. Somewhere in Athens there is, and I'm talking Athens, Greece, not Athens, Georgia. Somewhere in Athens this building exists, and on top of it is a very, very cool tiny house, and it's raining. There we go. I mean, that's not too bad. We have to get away from those particle effects whenever it rains. But you know what? It rains in Gotham. It rains on Earth 3, and that's perfectly fine. And here in New York town, yes, it still rains. But as I was saying, at the top, there's a little tiny house. Now, the problem is, based on the footage you just saw, we don't really have a whole lot to go off of. So this is more of the idea for what this building represents. Yes, the building does exist in Athens, Greece. And yes, it does have a tiny house on it. But the tiny house that we're going to building, it's going to be kind of what I remember in terms of the layout, but the look might be very different, and that's okay. So we're going to build a tiny house today. Let's do it. Now, with all that backstory, I'm sure it makes sense as to why this took me so long to get done or to get working on it. But you know what? We're here now. So let's just do it. Let's just knock it out. It's not going to take that long. It's not going to, that's the whole thing. This isn't that much. Now, you'll notice I've created a platform, and one of the reasons I've done this is because a lot of times when you have these kind of like, additional little tiny buildings on top of, established corporate offices or otherwise, you got to have some separation. Otherwise, the weight of, even the smallest of tiny houses is going to put a dent into the roof. Now, this is Minecraft. That's not really a concern, but, we want to kind of speak into the realism here and do that. Oh, you know what? One of the problems, speaking of lack of realism, there's no way to get on here other than just flying for the moment. But we'll probably change that, probably, eventually, maybe. Now, another thing I want to do is I kind of want this to be as functional as a base, like a starter base, as possible. And so it's going to be kind of like a tiny house starter base. Okay. All right. I'm oddly nervous about this. Why am I nervous about this? We have a bed technically 2. We'll have kind of a bathroom area, and then we'll have storage right here, and then we'll also do kind of some we can do some crafting and such in storage. Oh, there's a hole in the ground. Well, that's not helpful. Or actually, maybe it is. Maybe this will end up being where the stairs go. And I kind of want to do a different floor, actually. I think we're going to need to do a different floor. All right. So, all right. We're going to put some trapdoors around this. This is going to be like the air conditioned units, but we're going to use them, furnaces, but they'll be air conditioned units. And then over here, we need storage. So let's build some chests. Shaboom, shaboom, shaboom. Here we go. Toilet right here. And we'll do, we need some end rods. Oh yeah, we are definitely going to need some light. Let's end rods. There we go. Lantern and boom. Okay. Yeah, this is light. This is nice. I like this a lot. We will put another one of these on the floor just to kind of give kind of a cool look right there. Might not hurt just to have a little window right there. So we need some glass we need to put in. And then of course we will need a TV right hanging off the wall. Nope, not that big. Okay, so now I put the TV here. Yeah, but let's get something better on the TV. Put the TV here. Nope. Yeah. Okay. Boom, boom. And now that that's there, can I put the banner back up here? I can. That's interesting. Huh. Okay. Well, there you go. So you got the TV here, and, like you're chilling in bed, you got your TV. It's kind of hanging off the edge, which I think is appropriate, all things considered. That's pretty good. And let's just throw, I don't know, boom, like a little something just to kind of liven it up a little bit. Oh, the floor. I wanted to change out the floor. I feel like white. That's very Airbnb, right? Like everything is just kind of like white decor everywhere. Okay, yeah. And then we'll just kind of give that a little bit of a boom boom. And I think this is done. I think. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about this outside texture. This was one of the big problems that I had with this whole build, was coming up with a texture that I actually liked, and I never really got there, honestly. There we go. We got our air conditioning units right there. Actually, I could probably just, do that and that. I think that's fine. I think that works. Oops. I feel like not terrible is the only thing that I can come up with to describe this. And the thing I think that's bothering me is I don't like these two things next to each other. I thought I would, and I don't. And I wanted to just kind of break it up and give it a little bit of texture. I don't know, just general wear and tear or something. And it doesn't need to look just super nice. It just needs to be like, this is really kind of what we're after in here. But this doesn't look nice, does it? Okay. So we'll just get rid of the wood, right? We'll just get rid of the wood, make it pure sand, and that will be better. I mean, it's a little boring. I don't know. I feel like you look at like some of the other builds here and they're really good, and this is just not that good. See, this is really what it comes down to. It was never the building. It was never the building that this is on top of. It's this little tiny thing. It was trying to figure out a way to make this cool. And I don't know. I feel so self-conscious about this build. There. Okay. All right. Now it is what it is. That is what it is. It is what it is. This is a very, very basic, tiny starter. Basically, I mean, like, this might as well be a dirt hut, like a very expensive dirt hut. That's what we're looking at right here. But essentially, this does count as a kind of tiny house starter base. And you got everything you need. You got a bed, you got crafting, you got the furnaces on the outside, you got a little nice decor, we got the bathroom in here, which is nice as well. And then you've got some storage. Yeah, you got your bed, you got your TV. I think, it's not my proudest build, okay? This is, if nothing else, I think that's very, very clear. This is definitely not my proudest build, but it is a tiny house, and I did it, and it's finally done. The next question is, what does it look like from the ground, though? Like, surely you can't see this. Oh, of course not. Yeah, why would you be able to? That wouldn't make any sense. Okay, that's not that bad. I don't know what I was expecting, but That's okay. That's not a. I thought that might be an eyesore, and I don't think that's that bad. I think that actually works. We need like a little like tiny hut right there with maybe an elevator of some sort that'll kind of go up and down to get to said tiny house. And my guess is for the building, I don't know. I might grow some coarse fruit or something inside here. I haven't quite decided yet, but that's not okay. All right. Yeah, I don't. I was so stressed about this stupid build. I'm so glad to have it done. So there you go. That's 3 tiny projects in, I haven't timed it yet, but what I'm guessing is going to be a relatively tiny episode. I guess I don't know. While I got you, let me talk about 2 other things that I want to do around town. And that is to add some horses and carriages into the New Orleans condo, specifically into the bottom portion. The actual New Orleans condo does not have that, but I think our New Orleans condo is going to become a kind of a stable area right here for some horses. I think that'd be kind of fun. I think it'd be nice. And it's nice to kind of get away or get around on the street view. And it's also nice to have quick access to horses to be able to do it. So that'll be good. And honestly, this whole area is desperately in need of some internal work as well. So we'll get some nice interiors going right there. It'll have a little bit more of a stable standpoint, like horse stable standpoint. And I think that'll be fine. That'll be good. This thing right here, the Lotco building, I don't know. Like, this was like a whole thing, right? Like, I went back and forth with this building trying to get it the way I wanted it to. It looked too dark, and then we kind of put some color in it, then we lighted it up, and it still doesn't really look right to me. Now, the lights worked out well because it was a good test for what would ultimately be this right here. But now that we've got this, I don't know, it just looks bad. It doesn't really work, I don't think. And so what I'm thinking is I'm going to take out the lights, at least the front-facing lights, and kind of cover them up. And I may very well, I don't know, I may very well like cover up all the inside and kind of board up the windows on the inside as well. Might have to do it, especially if we end up moving the Lotco headquarters to Gotham City, which I think is highly likely. So those are 2 little projects. Whether or not they happen on camera or off camera, who knows? I guess we'll find out next week. But I hope you've enjoyed this tiny episode with all of its tiny projects. Let me show you. I will give you one other preview for a not so tiny project that is going to be happening in the future. Yeah, it's a teaser for another time. But the nice thing about it is it's going to be kind of the capper, or at least like the city limits, so to speak. We've got the beach over here, and it's going to be kind of what helps bridge the beach and the city and kind of rounds out the city itself, so that we kind of see where the end point is on this side. And then I'm still trying to figure out if I want to do something over here on this peninsula. I was thinking maybe we could do like a vineyard or something of that nature and kind of do like this winery type situation. I don't know. Problems for the future, but there's still a lot of options, still a lot of fun things, a lot of bigger projects to work on, but this is a good time. This was definitely a good one to get some of these smaller ones done. So hope you've enjoyed this, and until next time, everyone, goodbye.